Hey everyone, I'm Daria Musk, and this is Taylor Primetime. I got my head up in the clouds, but you're down to earth. I'm feeling something deeper than I expected for what it's worth. Oh, didn't notice that as I've been moving myself through this world. I've been holding my breath until I met you and I exhaled. And hey, between you and me, I think we had the best of both worlds. And hey, between you and me, I think we had the best of both worlds. Hey, I thought I knew what you would be, but that's just me, I overthought. Nah, don't get me wrong, it's better than I imagined or understood. Whoa, talking like this, to be honest, feels like breathing some air. Kinda elevated, hyper present of you, so aware. That hate between you and me, I think we had the best of both worlds. And hate between you and me, I think we had the best of both worlds. Da-da-no, da-da-no, da-da-da-do-do-do-do-do. Hey, da-da-da, da-da-da-no, da-da-da-do-do-do-do. Knowing every single moment, Lord, I spell you. Oh, in every single moment. Oh, da-da-da-da-da. Oh, yeah, da-da-da-da. I got my head up in the clouds, but you're down the world. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Welcome, everybody, to Taylor Primetime. That was Daria Musk, and this is Andy Lund.
What time is it? What time is it? It's prime time. It's prime time. What time is it? What time is it? It's prime time. It's prime time. Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the internets of the world, welcome to Taylor Primetime. Thanks, Daria. Thanks for that jam. This is episode number 69, and Daria Musk is back, talking about all things KOA. Is that right, Jay? I hope so. I think so. And that's Lindsay Love. Hey, Lindsay. Nice to see you. My name is Andy, and the host of this show called Taylor Primetime is Mr. Jay Parkin. Hi, Jay. Welcome to your show.
It's not my show. It's your show.
Yeah.
It's your show. It's yours guys' shows. Daria, that was awesome. Hey, we wanted to try something a little bit different up front, and the just wonderfully talented Daria decided to join, and she played along really well. I think I called you probably, maybe 35 minutes ago and said, hey, let's try something different. And he did.
It's SNL. It's a cold open. Just go for it.
It's so good, so much fun. That was kind of like a nod to, let's say, that was a nod to the Grammys, right? It was Grammys week. This is like our Super Bowl, right?
Oh my
Lindsay,
God.
Lindsay.
Yeah.
A, how
Yeah.
are you? B,
I'm good.
how did you feel about the Grammys?
I'm good. And B, I loved the Grammys. I thought it was a really well produced show. I loved that there was a ton of live performances. Trevor Noah said it best. He was like, if it's going to be a concert where we hand out awards, and that's what it felt like. So it was good.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. Lund, did you watch it?
I did not watch it, Jay. I'm sorry. I wish I would have now after hearing your all reactions.
Well, okay, where are you?
I'm in the Northwoods tonight, Jay.
Okay, so you're in the Northwoods. Do they have the Grammys in the Northwoods?
I do believe they have them, but I haven't seen them.
You did not see them
where my little world. No.
Okay, so let's just throw the question out there. Everyone wants to know: are you an award show type of person?
In general,
yeah.
I dig the Grammys. The Grammys is probably my favorite award show.
That's the one. Yeah,
definitely.
So the Teen Choice Awards you don't watch?
I don't. Watch, you don't watch like the Nick Awards, or is that even a thing? I don't even know.
Probably.
There is.
The Teen Choice Awards are pretty tight though, because the prize is a surfboard.
Yeah. The Nick. Is that the Teen Choice or is that the Nick? The Nick Awards is like a slime thing.
It's a slime.
You're not far off, Andy. There is something there.
And then MTV Awards is the Moon Man. Are you not an MTV Awards?
Yeah.
Back in the day, I used to be.
I used to watch it. Yeah.
Back in the day, Daria, do you remember that one time when MTV played music?
Yeah, back in that day.
Barely.
Right?
20 years ago.
And then they started the Real World. Remember the Real World?
Yeah.
Well, Real World started in like what, late 80s? I mean, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
It was just the only show.
Like as the only show, yeah. I let we have this fella in our artist relations team. We know him. His name's Sergio. I don't know if you had a chance to meet him, Daria, but you've seen him all over TikTok.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. He's gone viral many a times on TikTok.
I know. Throw me a riff.
It was kind of like his brainchild, the whole throw us a riff thing, which was pretty great. We love it. Anyway, so I had to let Sergio know the other day that I was actually on an episode of The Real World. True.
You were?
Yeah. And do you watch the WWE? Do you watch this professional wrestling at all?
I love WWE.
Do you watch Dancing with the Stars? Okay.
No,
no,
I know what you're about to say.
So there's this dude, Mike, the Miz, right? The Miz was on. It was the New York. It was the second time they did a Real World in New York. And long story short, one of the bands I was working with had this guitar player, singer, somebody in the band may have had a crush on one of the people on the show. So we ended up at this house, and I walk in, and there's this like army of like security, and they're like, sign these papers and sign this thing. I was like, what on earth is going on? And they're like, oh, this is the Real World house. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so we walk upstairs, and the Miz was there at the time, was not a professional wrestler, and he was walking around with like this fake plastic belt, and he was doing all these like wrestling things, and he's like, I have a dream of being a wrestler when I'm older, and that's what I'm going to be. And I'm like, that is legit. He had a goal, he had a game plan.
He did.
And he got there. Anyway, in this episode, Jay, me, and the Miz throw our merch guy in a trash can, and that was it. So if you find it on the internet, please send it to me, because I haven't seen it in decades.
I'll have to find it.
Sergio,
that was a good season. I really loved the Miz's character. I mean, when he would get mad, he'd turn into the Miz, and it was a whole thing. He really had that. Yeah, I'm gonna go look for it.
I loved it. Anyway, Daria, thank you so much for joining us. Daria is here. She is. Yeah. How did you feel about the Grammys?
I loved it. I thought it was so amazing. I don't know about you guys, but I felt so proud to be a part of the music community, and I thought that they they really translated that feeling too. Like I felt like it wasn't, oh, we're the most important musicians in the world. There was this feeling of like all musicians are a part of this global community and we're all connected through this thing. And it is so important. And it is so like the lifeblood of the world and our ability to find joy in any kind of these crazy times that we're in right now. I was just so proud. I was like, yeah, these are my people. I was so proud.
And John winning.
Yes. Oh my God. I was so happy for him. I've met him a couple of times. We've done some events at the same time and like
John
bumped into each
Baptiste.
other. Yeah, John Baptiste. And he's exactly who he seems like he is on TV. Like it's exactly the same. The joy, the presence, the kindness is exactly what he is backstage and on stage. So I couldn't be happier for him. Thought it was amazing.
And his speech, if you guys can go watch highlights, his speech was just, it was spot on. It's exactly kind of what we need with music for sure. And and then we had some Taylor players there. We had some exciting stuff. Lindsay, which winners did we have? Anybody that won anything?
I mean, we did. I mean, I can't remember though. Well, I know we had a bunch of nominees. I can't remember. Did anybody win?
Dream Theater won, that's for sure.
There you go. They won, yes.
Dream Theater won. John Petrucci won a Grammy, and it wasn't shown. It wasn't on the live telecast, but they showed his speech, and he walks up there with his big, long, giant beard, and he gets up there and he's like, "Whoa, this is crazy." It was so great. I love it. I love that. I mean, there's so many different like categories you can win for. So many. Packaging.
That's so awesome.
We got a nomination.
We did it. We had a few different producers that we work with that play our guitars, and side session musicians that are on albums that won Grammys because of a song they produced or wrote. So that was cool.
That's amazing.
Like Jairus Mosey and Aaron. I'm drawing a blank. I'm just drawing a blank from Maverick. Nope. Well, Aaron Forbes, but yes. But then oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on his name, but he's from Maverick City. They won. So Aaron Moses.
Aaron Moses, yeah. Right. Anyway. It's so great. So artist relations often is artistpreneur relations, and we'll get into that in a minute. Daria, we talked about that the last time you were on the show. Yeah. We'll get this thing moving in a second, but we also remember we didn't, last week's episode got hijacked. The news cycle last week got hijacked by apparently somebody slapped somebody. That's all I know. I heard it in the news. But I do want to give a special nod real quick to these two folks right here. I'm going to throw a picture on the screen. You know who that is?
Yes.
That's good old Phineas, and that's Billie Eilish right there for winning an Oscar.
Yes.
What? So cool. So good.
I love them so much. Brother-sister power. I work with my brother too.
They win an Oscar. I actually went to Phoenix last night to watch the show. They're a bigger artist like that. It takes a whole team to kind of support their crew. And so I kind of had the crew on lock, and Tim Godwin has the management on lock, and Lindsay's potentially working with some charity organizations that they're working on. So that was, I went, right. It's not an LA show. And I have to tell you what, I don't care what anybody says. I am the huge Billie Eilish and Phineas fan. Huge.
Same.
My oldest brother is a huge Billie Eilish fan. He's way older than me too. Like way older, like old. Kind of old. You know what I mean? Like the oldest of old. And he's like, this is like, they're legitimately great. And I want to tell you, she owned an entire arena of people, 160-foot stage, running back and forth by herself. Phineas and Andrew is the drummer. Phineas is her brother, multi-instrumentalist. If you guys don't know, Phineas sits up on a perch and Andrew sits up behind his drums on a perch, and she just owned the place. And it was spectacular. If you ever have a chance to go see Billie Eilish live, try.
What did they win the Oscar for best song?
The No Time to Die.
No Time to Die, the 007 song.
That song is killer. You know,
it is.
I I've only heard it one time, and it was when I went to the theater to see the movie, which was awesome because I didn't even know who had written the song before I went in. And man, that song just slayed in the theater. It sounded so good.
It's super haunting.
Moses
super
old.
It's amazing.
Moses old. Yeah.
Keyman,
the Oscars,
Keyman 3.
You know, the funny thing is the Oscars, the performances were brilliant too. They had the best songs. So like the song from Encanto, which is beautiful.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know how it's just beautiful. They keep performing Sebastian and then Beyonce. I don't know if there's another
epic.
performance. I don't know if there's another performer of our lifetime in our time right now, this generation that still has puts on the performance of like back in the day of the Michael Jackson-esque. It's not Michael Jackson exactly because he took it to a whole other level, but I mean her performance for the Oscars was insane. Like being on the tennis court. I don't know if you saw it. It was insane. So the Oscars were good too.
Yeah. So Andy just sums it up. If you're not an award shows guy, I think that's okay. But I think the award shows people have figured out that there are some folks out there that don't like award shows, and they're making award shows better.
Yes.
And they really are they're such well produced. Well, just no violence is needed. Let's just throw that out there.
Yeah, no violence is needed. No.
But there was no violence at the Grammys. And
no violence at the Grammys.
I mean, it's an eclectic mix of genres, which was good. It was great to see Carrie Underwood just slay the stage. Like, come on, she's so talented.
Everybody was amazing.
Everybody was
I loved the rooftop performances too.
Yeah.
That was so cool that they were doing that. Oh my God.
All right.
Yeah.
We just drooled over this thing for like 17 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure they're happy about that.
Sorry, we chit-chat way too much. Let's get the show on. This is Taylor Primetime. If you are new to the show, it's a guitar nerd talk show. We talk way too much. So we like to get guests who talk a lot too. Daria, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Later on, we're going to talk about your love for KOA guitars because legit, you might love them the most. What do I got here? You already played a song. We tried something new. That was fantastic. Let's keep the feed clean. You guys know how this works. We don't want to have to put you in timeout for anything silly. We talked about the Grammys. Lindsay, you're good. Andy Lund's in the North Woods. Trivia or Evan's question. We do have Evan's question tonight. The prize is... here it is. The prize is a tuner, cleaner, fretboard conditioner, a rag, and what does that say? I can't read my writing. Oh, a pick tin. All right, cool.
Fun.
On here it says new segment. Let's do a quick round of what are you listening to? And then Lund, do you want to play a song?
Sure. I'll play a little ditty.
Little ditty about Jack and Diane?
What you're listening to, right?
Okay.
Yeah. That'd be a good one to learn though.
Where in your mind did you go? Did you dance in the sound? Or were you driving around? What are you listening to? What did you listen to?
What did you listen to? Daria, what are you listening to lately?
Oh, there's so much good stuff coming out. You guys really just a flood of amazing stuff. I am obsessed with Rosalia's new album, Muramami. I don't know. Are you guys listening to that? It's amazing. There's not any guitars on it this time. There's a lot of guitars on her last record. Do you guys know her? She's this remarkable sort of pop crossover flamenco artist who sings entirely in Spanish. But she is a genius.
Pop flamenco. You had me at pop flamenco.
Yeah, no, it is the greatest. And then this album has a lot more flavors. There's a lot of like dembo beats and reggaeton and like all sorts of stuff. But it's fun and funny and just totally badass. I love it. And she's, I think, one of the greatest singers I've ever heard in my life. So yeah, Muramami by Rosalia. And then... oh my God, there's so much other stuff that I love. Do you guys know Lizzie McAlpine? She's great. I think she just dropped a new song with Phineas. that's beautiful that came out today, and this amazing like sort of Brit alt duo that I love is dropping their album finally on Friday that I've been waiting for. They're called Sad Night Dynamite. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff out right now.
Love it. Can I talk about Phineas for a second? Did I
Please
talk about them yet?
do.
I didn't talk about them yet, did I? I did, probably. Phineas is also the hardest working musician on the planet.
Absolutely.
And he actually inspired a conversation that I had not with Phineas, but with his guitar tech last night. Inspired some of the questions I'm going to ask you in a little bit.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
He has a full studio and a bus, and he's just like, he goes like off the stage back into the studio, is recording like crazy. He's a mad dog.
That makes sense because he's constantly like just dropping another song, and then 5 more artists come out with albums that he produced. And I remember they said No Time to Die they recorded in the tour bus while they were on tour because they just didn't have time to get to a studio. It's amazing.
Their studio bus is legitimately the best studio bus I've ever seen. So
that's so cool.
Lindsay, what are you listening to? Everything I know. You're on mute.
Amazing. I'm listening to a little bit of everything. I'm listening to Robert Glasper, who was a part of the Oscar House band, and he also was the MD of, I think he was the MD. If not, he was playing keys for Nas's performance on the Grammys. So he has an album out. It's like a collective album with a bunch of different artists called Black Radio 3, which Black Radio 1, I think one won a Grammy a couple years back, and I think number 2 did too. So the third one, we've been waiting for it for probably 6 years, it seems like, and so he finally dropped it. It's amazing. So many good artists, talented artists on it. And then John Baptiste's album again. I was rocking it earlier this year too when he first dropped it, and I listened to it for a long time and then put it down. But then just because of the recent Grammy win, went back to it just to kind of like, I wanted to just hear it again because it just felt good. His performance was amazing. It inspired me to go listen to it. So love him. I'm a huge fan of him. Both of them are amazing. Both of those guys are amazing jazz pianists who know how to write in just really fun ways. So, yeah.
What are you guys listening to? Tell us over there in the feed. Lund, your turn. What? What? This is when he holds up really weird shaped
cool records.
Old school records. I'm still working on going through my old vinyl, and both of these two records were probably when I was in like 5th and 6th grade. It's when I first started really like feeling the pull of music, you know? So I don't know if you can see this. This is the Carpenters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There it is, yeah.
Greatest hits from 69 to 73. And this is the Best of Bread. David Gates, one of the...
There's a band called Bread?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Amazing.
A great record. But the thing about these records that I also remember, besides loving them in 5th and 6th grade, is that if you talked about these records in 7th grade, you got your ass beat because that's not cool. These were not cool, like when you're a young man in that age. So then I started listening to Kiss, and I didn't have any problems. But these are killer records, man. Like, come on, Burt Bacharach, all those Carpenters tunes. David Gates, killer singer. Check him out. Daria, old school.
Amazing.
Okay, I will check it out.
Old. I'm not allowed to talk about being old anymore. Just about my brother.
Yeah.
No, my brother. He actually made me so happy last week. My older brother, he called me and he sent me a text actually, and he's like, "Hey, dude, I'm going to see the Descendants in Denver." And I was like, "Yeah, you're not that old." He wants to be though. He's old. It's all good. He's a retired professional athlete. He has the right to be old and like living. My brother.
Nice.
Okay.
Baseball? Is that why we have all the hats and all
I wish. Come on, that would be No, I'm just kidding. Cycling. He's a professional cyclist, a mountain biker, and raced on the road. And
that's
at one point, he was known as like the fastest descender in the world. He was so if you watch the Tour de France, he was mostly known as like what's called a domestique. They're the ones that drop back to the team car and they get all the food and the water, and then they go up. It's like a worker, right? And or it's where the sprinter, like a Lance Armstrong or a Greg LeMond would have been a sprinter, right? They win the races because they have the biggest legs at the end of the day, or they're the fastest, or the most drugs. I mean, performance. Never mind. You get it. Anyway, so my brother would always drop back on the climb and grab all the food and then beat everybody down. It was scary, right, Mom?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Scary how fast dude would go down. Anyway, that's my story. What am I listening to? Billie Eilish.
Yes.
I'm listening to Billie Eilish. John Baptiste. It's really funny. That record was actually accidentally left on my turntable. And I'm like, I was just listening to that today. And he wins album of the year. It was great.
Awesome.
And then if for you metalheads out there, I've been listening to the new Meshuggah record. It's really good. And then there's a band called Soul Glow. I probably recommend 4 people in the audience, you know who you are, should go listen to that record. It's fantastic. It's everything I ever wanted it's like punk, hardcore, and hip hop all in one. It's wild. Anyway, all right, let's do this. Daria?
Yes, sir.
Daria, let's do this. All right. Daria Musk. She is back. We are friends. You are a dear person for jumping on and talking about your love of KOA. But you are a tailor player, a singer, songwriter, artistpreneur. You're just a all-out TED Talker. TED Talk. You've done a few TED Talks. Daria, for those who don't know you, remind us, what in the heck do you do, Daria?
You just said it all.
That's it?
I mean, I'm a musician first and foremost. That's my world. That's my lifeblood. I'm a singer and a guitar player first. And then I do a bunch of other fun stuff. I love playing online. I love doing talks. I love doing all sorts of artistpreneurial things. And making videos and doing all sorts of stuff. But music is the through line of everything that I do. It is the heartbeat behind everything. Like I over the last few years, I started making a lot of like little mini films and videos, and I edit backwards. I work from the music first, and I cut film to music so that it lands on the beats and feels the way I want it to feel. And I know that's completely backwards from what everybody does, but sometimes I'll literally do my first edit blind and then lay all the video on top, and then go from there. So I am incredibly grateful to be a musician now more than ever. I'm first and foremost a daughter of musicians, and someone who's grown up with that as my absolute religion.
Your whole family is creative, which is fantastic. So you live in this like nest of creativity.
I do.
So usually we do a segment called Useless Questions. You've done them before. So I was thinking, Daria's different. She's been on the show. Let's do something different. So today, drum roll, we're doing a segment called Useful Questions.
There we go.
Awesome. Yeah.
Compelling questions for
Let's
people
give
who
people some information.
Let's give them free information. I'm all about this right now. So Daria, I'm going to rifle off some questions.
Okay,
and then we're going to play a game with you. And then we're going to talk about KOA guitars because they're just
amazing.
Cool. Real quick, though. Not real quick because there's a few questions. Dead or alive, who is an artist you'd like to collaborate with?
Oh my God, Dave Matthews. Easy. Lightning.
You just went right to Dave Matthews.
Yes. No, he's my patron saint.
Satellite.
Yes. I promise to be cool around anyone that I ever meet except Dave. I will fall into a bucket of tears the second I'm in his presence. If he's like the one person, if he comes on the screen, I go and sit right up close to it and I start crying. He taught me everything I know practically. I mean, Ram helped, but Dave first.
I love it. Okay.
I love him. Yes.
Next question, Dave Matthews.
Yes.
What accomplishments do you see yourself achieving in the next 5 to 10 years? Musically.
Oh my goodness. Musically? Oh man. I mean, I always want to be a better guitar player. And I have some specific goals in that arena right now. I don't know if you guys know, they call themselves a metal band. I would argue if I got to hang out with them, I don't really think they're metal, but there's a band that I love called Polyphia. And they employ a lot of really cool techniques that I don't know very well at all, like tapping and thumping and all sorts of stuff. So like I'm starting to find myself tutorials and like trying to incorporate that a little bit into what I do. But 5 to 10 years, I want to put out multiple albums. I have a very, very big project that I've been working on during the pandemic that is part music and part preneurial, and that will hopefully be something that I can tell the world about soon, and that I could foresee being a very big part of my life going forward. Yeah.
Ooh, secret.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. What strengths do you have? That you believe make you a great musician?
Oof.
I think every
These
musician,
questions.
beginner or somebody who's playing forever, if you're doing it, you're great. That's my opinion. So
Me
that's
too.
where this question came from. What do you have that makes you a great musician that you can pass on to somebody?
Yeah. I think curiosity and
Ooh.
reverence for the intangible, magical, unending stream where the music comes from. You know, it's like up here somewhere and you can turn your faucet on and off, but it will never run out and it's always there. And I feel honestly really spoiled as a musician sometimes, because I notice how if I give just a little to the music, it gives me a millionfold back. I practice for an hour and it feels like I've been practicing for weeks, you know, and it takes kind of years to get to that place. There was a lot of years of practicing all day and feeling like you got that far. But yeah, I think maybe the reverence for what on earth is it? And we get to play with it, you know?
Music's kind of magical, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I honestly think it is one of the basic building blocks of matter. It's like, you know, math or science. We didn't make music, we discovered music, and we're playing with it and we're discovering new things about it all the time. And how is it that there's only 12 notes and it makes all the music we've ever heard in our lives and we'll never run out of new songs or compositions or symphonies? It's doesn't really make sense if you try to wrap your brain around it. So yeah, the ephemeral magic that is music.
You know, it also doesn't make sense. This will segue me into the next question.
Yes.
Is that when people Google thesaurus online, 90% of the time they don't know how to spell thesaurus. Think about that. Wild, isn't it? Okay, next question. Weaknesses. Spelling. Do you have any weaknesses that you're actively working on or working to improve on in music?
Yeah. Like I said, the styles, I want to level up a lot in my guitar playing. You know, I think maybe as songwriters, it's easy to want to just grab the chords and go. You know, you have something that you want to get off your chest. You have something that you want to express. I am definitely guilty of finding a cool pattern and then just putting it on autopilot so I can write the song. And there's always so much more to learn. So yeah, like I said, tapping, thumping are guitar styles that I really, really want to get not just better at, I want to learn straight up. And then also I'm always trying to baby steps up my theory game. It is pretty basic level, but as I find that when I was younger, I would just scare myself with how big theory was, and I just felt like incapable of being able to wrap my brain around it. And now I find if I go in small chunks and then I apply what I learn into songs and I metabolize it and use it, then it really comes alive. So I mean, the thing that I love the most about theory that I've been working on most recently is understanding the modes. And modes are my favorite. Playing modally, writing modally is the coolest shortcut to writing dope stuff. It's like the modes have emotion built into them, you know? And it kind of goes from basic emotion to really nuanced, complicated, gorgeous emotion. And it's the exact same notes in the exact same order. So how that works, again, complete magic trick. I don't understand it, but I love it.
Note to self, have Daria back on and talk about modes.
Yes. Oh my God. I could talk about that forever. Seriously, it's so much fun. My new songwriting trick is figure out what my chord progression is that I'm happy with, and then go through all the modes, kind of, get the scale in my voice, and then write different melodies for every single mode, and then see which one like is vibing with me the most, just to feel out all the different options. When you level up from just going with the first thing you hear to then like expanding what you're hearing, just heaven.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
We're going to have a show.
I would love that.
It sounds like Lindsay is feeling you on that one. As
good. I'm so glad. Yes, we have to have Ram in for that one, because he's my main teacher first and foremost. He understands this stuff better than anyone I know.
Ram is so wild. He's such a nerd and like amazing, the most amazing way. I love him. Okay, amazing. This next question is for all three of you. And we will start with Lindsay, then Lund, then Daria, to get her some ramp up time.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
Lindsay, so the question is for all of you, what qualities do you think make a great musician? Ooh. Just a sidebar of that question we were just talking about earlier. What qualities do you think make a great musician?
Oh man, start with Andy.
Okay, Andy.
Andy, I'm throwing it to you first. I can think. I don't want to just blurt out an answer.
Yeah, you like how that worked? Yeah. I saw what you did there, Lindsay. I picked it up. You threw up the lob, and I was like, oh, yes. I threw it down. What do you think, Lund?
I'm just going to give the first two that come to mind, and then maybe give some room for everybody else to answer. I think one of the greatest things, or what makes a great musician, is learning how to play with other people.
Yeah.
And it's almost part of the same sentence, but point number two I was going to say is learning learning what not to play. Okay. So if you are playing with other people, that's part of it, right? So if I think the first time, everybody who gets in a band, when you first get in a band, you don't really think about that. You just try to make sure that you're staying in time, and you're going to end up at the same spot that you started, hopefully, right? All together. But as you get better, and as your ear gets better, and as you pay attention more to the music that you really like, you start to hear how people are gelling within the overall product, within the overall sound, and what they're not doing is just as important as what they are doing, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I back that so much, right? Have I spoken about Billie Eilish and Phineas yet? If you listen to their music, it's not very intricate. That's what makes it intricate, if that makes any sense. The simple bass lines that Phineas will come up with, and the simple just flair that they throw in there, makes it hard. People can't wrap their head around it. It's spectacular. I agree with that, Lund. All right, Lindsay, are you ready?
Yeah, I'll go. Because I think that it's challenging because there's a technical side of it, and I think Andy answered the technical side. What makes a great musician? Listening, learning how to play. All those things are really technical. I think I'm just going to quote Nina Simone, who I also absolutely love. She said something. One of her most popular quotes, which is, "An artist's duty is to reflect the times." And I think to be a great musician or a great artist is to kind of what Ken Rogers said in the chat, like to be a great listener, not just, I think, so musically, absolutely, but I think just be sensitive. Like an artist's duty is to reflect the times. So like to be sensitive of the things happening around you, and be real, and allow, you're feeling it in the most authentic way, and let that come through you through a musical interpretation. I know that was a really artist way of answering that question, but yeah.
That was perfect.
But that was from the heart, right?
Yeah.
That was great. All right, Daria.
Yes.
You've had some time to think about this question. You
I've
probably
been
would have
listening.
answered. You would have answered that question in like 4 seconds. Go ahead.
Okay. I feel the same way everybody does. This is an epic question. The things that came to mind were presence and attention, which kind of goes with listening, but being present even just with yourself and with what's happening in your ear, what you're hearing, but maybe some version of bravery mixed with like, what is the word? Authenticity, non-affectation, no vanity. I find the most exciting sound comes when somebody's not trying to sound pretty, they're not trying to sound cool. There's just something incredibly honest coming through. And sometimes that looks and sounds really weird, but that always ends up being my favorite. Hence Dave Matthews, God bless him. Like, I don't know if you guys saw his Tiny Desk concert. It is so priceless. You have to watch it. He's singing something amazing like Gravedigger or something, where he goes into those really high riffs at the end. And then he was at the end, he's just like, singing shouldn't be so hard. Like, I feel like an alien's about to pop out of my chest, like he's just not doing it in a classically trained way at all, but it hits me as so real, so some sort of realness and bravery to just be blah, like whatever. Yeah
I love that. A musician has heart. 3 chords in a song.
Yes,
right?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I love it. I'll put this back up. Ken, I think you're spot on. I think a great musician is first a great listener.
Yes.
And like any creative, really. Look at what you like and take it all in. It's spectacular. All right, let's go on to the next question so we can get the show.
Wait, what's your
on the
answer?
road. My answer?
Yeah.
You got out of it somehow.
I got out of it because I'm asking the questions. I mean, it's the same. I feel exactly the same as you guys. What makes a great musician is going back to that rest note. Knowing, to me, it's what makes a great storyteller, right?
Yes.
Sparing details sometimes, leaving a cliffhanger just a little bit, taking a break, being thoughtful, taking, you know what I mean? Just you don't have to throw every single note. I mean, we got, you don't have to do everything on that guitar. It's a couple of chords sometimes is all you need, or, little things like I'm way more of a bass player, right? We were listening to somebody the other day talk about bending notes into pitch like an 808. Boom.
Oh, nice.
Boom, right? Stuff like that. I don't do that. I slide into pitch. Boom. I like it a little bit differently. So finding your way and just throwing it all out there, it makes a great musician. But all means you can take a break. You don't have to sit there and riff, and you know what I mean? But whatever. I think if you're doing it, it's a musician, like everybody says over here, having heart. Musician has heart. A musician has heart.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. All right. Next question real quick, and we're going to roll. A piece of advice, the best piece of advice, Daria, best piece of advice you would give another musician.
Oh, let's see. Just play and play and play and write your own stuff. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I just feel so excited to hear what everybody is making right now and what everybody has to say. Everyone is unique. Everyone has a different way of saying what, a different take on, there's a million different shades of love and of the stories that we live through and of all the ideas that we have to say. So yeah, I think just play and play and play and write and write and write and don't stop, and don't judge your songs while you're writing them. I mean, maybe that is the other thing I would say is, as another idea of an important quality in a musician is non-judgment. And that's been one that I've had to like learn and practice over time. But I really see in my parents, for example, is to let whatever's coming through come through and honor it and finish it. And then you can tinker and then you can play with it. But don't judge it while it's coming through. It'll throw the brakes on the train, Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. And now last but not least, everybody has it in one way, shape, or form. What is your process with dealing with performance anxiety?
I have an absolute, I have an answer in my back pocket for this one. So my mom We keep referencing my brilliant family. My mom, we all say, is the best musician of all of us. She is a classically trained Juilliard graduate flutist. She won the Artist International Award when she was like my age. She's first chaired all over the place and done lots of amazing things. Brilliant, brilliant musician. And she taught me when I was little. So I've had this ingrained in me my whole life, that the nerves, the thing you feel when you're getting ready to go on stage, is not nerves, and it's not something bad. She calls it performance energy. And she says that it's what you need to do a great performance. It is the wave that you can ride to elevate yourself to like a superhuman performance. Those moments that we all love the most, when we disappear and we like black out and the music takes over. The moments that you saw Billy in the middle of on stage last night, that's what we live for, right? The transcendence of that like holy moment when you are a part of something greater than yourself, and you're swept up in that wave. So that performance energy is like a wave. It's like surfing. And so if you haven't practiced enough and you're worried, that wave can kind of tip you over and you can wipe out. But if you practice and you trust that wave, you can ride it and then ride it through the show. And extra pro tip, her classical musician rule is, if you can play it 7 times without making mistake in private, you can do it once in front of people in performance. So that's the rule.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
There's some, speaking of anxiety, let's give you a little anxiety real quick and play a game,
Lord.
and then talk about KOA.
Okay. I think I'm going to switch.
You want to play? Wait, you need a guitar.
I know. I'm switching to the T5 for this.
Oh, a T5.
I've been holding that one this whole time. Yes.
It's your all-in-one.
Yes, it is my favorite, my baby.
Okay.
We haven't talked about the coat. That was the K24.
We'll talk about
I'm being
KOA.
the Taylor nerd. And this
Here's
is
the reason. Because KOA is great.
Yes.
What else can we say? We'll get to KOA. Don't worry, guys. We got a few minutes. We'll get to KOA. All right. We did this with Nathaniel Murphy. Now,
yeah, I have to say, I really appreciated you texting me like an hour ago, being like, do what Nathaniel Murphy did. I was like, yeah, I'm not Nathaniel Murphy.
You can do it. You can do it. So because we've had so many requests for doing this thing, right? Where it's like, if we throw you band names, if you can play them. So we're going to see if you can play some band names.
Okay.
You do not know what this list is. I'm throwing this at you to see. But I've known you for a while, so maybe I'll guess.
You do know my style. I hope that you're going to throw me.
Okay.
Yes.
This goes without saying then, because we know the answer. So we'll get that anxiety. We're going to turn that into performance energy real quick.
I'm riding the
Dave Matthews.
Okay. Okay. All right. I want to pull out something cool here. I have not played this in a very long time. But let's. Right? Here, I have the Sting disease. If I sing and play it, I should be able to do it. So
all right, do it.
He always says that. He's like, if I don't sing, then it doesn't work. Satellite in my eye, like a diamond in the sky. How I wonder, satellites strung from the moon, and the world your balloon, peeping Tom for the mother station. Winter's cold, spring races, and the cow we by the storm is chasing. Everything good needs replacing. Look up, look down, all around. Hey, satellite. Almost.
Yes. She just went into the whole song. That was amazing. Okay. Paul Simon. We all like Paul Simon.
Oh, I love Paul Simon. I don't know if I have any Paul Simon off the top of my head.
No?
I don't. I mean, I can sing it. I don't know. I mean, the cool thing about Paul Simon is that he is very 3 chords in the truth. Like, his songs sound so complicated, but they're not. It's a lot of CDG and then just genius lyrics. You know what I could do is so from Paul Simon, because I'm just kind of blanking on Paul right now, but from Paul Simon, I definitely get some of my finger picking stuff, but I also get that from like the Beatles. Maybe you would accept this. Like we're singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to rise.
That's fair. We'll give you that.
Okay, thank you. I feel like that's extra credit, right? It's extra credit.
That's fair. We'll give it to you.
Thank you.
Let's do one more. One more.
Yes.
The Police.
Okay. Oh, you got this. You got this. Oh, these guys. So Andy Summers style and then Sting style are also, like, I think next to Dave, the most influential on my favorite styles of writing. What? No, you know what I listen to. We've known each other for a while now. Like, you know, I'm a very loyal fan and nerd, hence my Taylor guitars massive geekdom. But okay, wait, I'll give you two for the price of one. So you got the basic ninth chord shapes that you get in a lot of Police songs, and that really changed my world, and that became a major point of pride for me to be able to do that stretch. It's a little easier on a great, gorgeous little baby T5Z. So you get like a Message in a Bottle. Right? Just a castaway and I've been lost at sea. Oh, another lonely day, no one here but me. Oh, more loneliness than anyone could bear. Rescue me before I fall into despair. And then kind of like the Dave, then just going into the simple chords, right? I send an SOS to the world. I send an SOS to the world. I hope that someone gets mine. I hope that someone gets mine. I hope that someone gets mine. Message in a bottle, yeah. It's too good to stop. Message in a bottle, yeah. You have to get to that because that's so much fun, right? So there's that. But the other day, I was like, how on earth does Shape of My Heart go? Because it's so beautiful, and I didn't know if I'd be able to do it, but I just learned this. Okay, forgive me if I mess up. Sting, I love you. I'm sorry. Right, so let's see. He deals the cards for meditation, but those he plays never suspects. And then doesn't play for the money he wins. He don't play for respect. Like, how about that for progression? And then it's the same. Know that the spades are the swords of a soldier. It changes. It's really cool. It goes from this to this. Know that the clubs are weapons of war. Know the diamonds mean money for this art. That's not the shape of my heart.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah, that was awesome. Okay, I think you passed the test.
I tried. Thank you. I'm sorry, Nathaniel. I'm sorry, Sting. I tried.
Well, Nathaniel's just like biddly boops all over the place, man. That dude is just a wild stallion.
No, it is.
He's just a monster. And I'm a really big fan of the Fender Bass 6, and he just did this demo with a Fender Bass 6 the other day, and I'm like, dude,
nice.
What can't you play? You're fantastic. All right, KOA. Do you want to talk about KOA for 45 seconds, and then we'll move on?
Actually,
that's what they came here for.
To finish the Billy and Phineas Love Fest, though, really quick.
You got Billy and Phineas?
I was so vibing with what you said about the simplicity of their writing, and I've been analyzing lately, like, what do I love so much about this? Like, what makes it? What is that special sauce that they do that's different? I mean, obviously, it's it's their ear candy and the production, it's Billy's vocals and it's the storytelling. But I feel like I might have figured something out. It's the landing on dominant chords, like dominant seventh chords at the end of the progression, leaves it with that like saucy sour sort of thing. And I was checking out like something's in the air right now, like I'm losing track of time, like I don't really care right now, and maybe that's fine, you know. Other than that day I was waiting on you, and those of us aware that day was the last straw for me, and I knew. And then this feels different, but it's not. I sent you flowers, did you even care? You were in the shower, left them by the stairs. Ooh, yeah. Thought you had your shit together, but you proved me wrong. Ain't with nothing but a lost cause, right? It's so much fun.
It's like it's probably my favorite Phineas bass line too.
I know, I love it so much.
And so he performs it live on bass, and it's just so good. Wow,
so cool. Yeah.
Well, thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Surprise sprinkle sauce.
Yes.
KOA. So
KOA.
On this run, I have this paper in my hand for all of you guys
sir.
who wonder what I'm reading. It's this run of show. It just has everything that we need to talk about. KOA, we gave KOA about this much space because KOA is just rad. We like it. And Daria, you are a fan of it. You have a lot of KOA guitars.
I do.
So I kind of just want to walk through KOA. I got 3 KOA questions for you. But before that happens,
yeah,
I think you all know what time it is. We're going to feed the ducks just a little bit.
Uh-oh.
You ready, Daria?
Sure. I have no idea what that means, but I'm with you.
You watched last week's episode.
Yes, I did.
Follow me.
Okay. Oh, I did see this.
All right. Hawaiian KOA has long impressed guitar players with its distinctive combination of lush acoustic tone and naturally stunning visual character. In the KOA series, we treat a Hawaiian KOA like a superstar tonewood, the superstar tonewood, with a range of guitars that showcase both its natural coloration and its dazzling sonic personality. Woo-wee! Players will hear a vibrant mid-range response with a clear and articulate trebles, a dash of low-end warmth for balanced sound. Ooh! You can play this thing all over the place. Many playing styles. Many playing styles. How do you think about that, KOA?
Feeding the duck.
Get her done, man. Do you feel better about KOA? Like, you're like, oh, I need KOA now. Okay, Daria, let's dive into this KOA thing. What guitar are you holding right there? No, it's wild. It's like crazy.
I haven't seen the side of you before. I'm like,
so here's the thing, Lindsay. We tried it last week and we didn't get any.
Didn't get the bots.
We didn't get the bots, so we kept it up. Kept it up. We're gonna try it. Daria, that there is a Builder's Edition K14 CE.
Yes.
You were a part of the launch of that guitar at NAMM.
Yes.
Tell us about it. What do you like about that guitar?
Yeah, that was a really fun moment to be a part of. That was really an honor. I was so excited for you guys. Yes, I just think this whole business happened.
So dumb.
You have to show more comments. I can't see the comments, guys. So like, yes.
You can't?
No, I don't have the YouTube open. I should be talking to everyone. You keep feeding me more comments. I can talk to everyone. I mean, look at that. It's just ridiculous. I'll grab the other ones where it's on the front because this is spruce on the front, I think. But what is this business? This is amazing. It's just so beautiful. So yeah, this guy I love a lot. And I think
let me ask you a question about that guitar. Yeah. How did it break in? We always talk about KOA warming up to its character, right? Breaking in after years of play. You have had that instrument for quite a while now.
Yes.
How is it from day one to now?
Yeah. So, I mean, that was actually the thing I wanted to talk about the most when it comes to KOA, because I think there's maybe there's a misconception, you pick up a KOA guitar and it maybe feels a little bit tight and a little bit new. It's like bouncy, and it's like, I always say this, right? It's like breaking in an amazing pair of jeans or like an amazing leather jacket or a perfect pair of shoes or something like that. It rewards you for the time you spend playing it. And I really like that. It is a very egalitarian guitar, or wood, I should say. And so I think that the possibilities, the fact that it just keeps growing, it keeps blooming, it keeps warming up as you play it is very exciting. And then once you put in the effort to like sweeten that guitar with all of that love and all of that play, they have a very different quality than anything else that I've heard. It's really, really beautiful. And then obviously they're just gorgeous to look at. So this one, it's interesting. Like this one I've had for less time than I've had that one. And so I'll grab that one in a second. And you can really hear like, and then check this out. I actually really noticed this. I was going back and forth today. Ooh, this one, it's sweeter, right? Like isn't that crazy? I think we've had this one for a year longer than that one. And Ram and I fight over this one a lot. So we've played it a lot. So you hear the difference? It rewards you. It's crazy. And then I feel like the balance between the mids and the highs and the bloom, the sweetness that happens is very, very cool.
Eric, wasn't that K14CE model Andy Power's first Builder's Edition?
Was it?
Lunge? Yes, it was.
Ooh.
Right? Yeah.
It's such a beautiful guitar too. It's, what I love about this one is the teeny tiny details, like the what do you call this? The armrest?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Here. But then you also have it in here, which I love so much. And I don't know about you guys, but I love playing high up on the upper frets. And now I'm spoiled by the GTs, and so I really need you guys to make a GT with a cutaway, because I was trying to play something way, way up the other day, and I was like, oh no. But it was funny going back to these guitars today. We have a couple of GTs in the studio right now, and I haven't been able to put them down since they came. And the size and the neck and the action, and then I grabbed these guys, and I was like, whoa, it's a big boy. Like I hadn't played them in a few days. It was funny. But
Wow.
this thing is just, this is like the, wearing Swarovski crystals or something. Right? This is fancy, like going
That's
to
a good one.
Going to the Grammys guitar. That's what this guitar is.
You also have a GS Mini KOA, right?
Yes, I do have a GS Mini KOA. I have an invisible assistant. Do you want to grab it for me? Yes.
You have an invisible assistant?
Ram's listening. He's like, don't make me be on the show tonight, but he's here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
we'll get him. We'll get him next time. Do you want to wave? You can wave.
It's got a roadie.
And yes, I have.
You got a roadie.
I do. I have
a guitar tech.
Whoa, going around back. Here we go. Yeah, how cute is this little guy? So cute.
You love that guitar.
I do. This is my go-to. This everybody, and we've said this a million times, right, Jay? Like, I don't feel like there's an argument for everybody in the world not having one of these. Like, GS Mini is the perfect guitar for everyone, and everybody needs a little guy they can throw in the back of the car, go on a plane, and just take anywhere. And when it comes to like a campfire, I am not taking this to the campfire. I do not want her to get smoky and hurt, but this guy is rugged. He can come with me anywhere.
That's fantastic. Do you have the K21 yet? No, it didn't show up.
No. What's that one? Is that a GT?
GT K21 is the KOA.
Is that
GT.
coming?
Yeah, because we're creating. So what we're doing, everyone, we're going to give it away. Let's just give it away.
Oh, yes. We've been working.
Right, we're
very excited.
We're creating a piece of content that is all of the GTs used to write and perform on one song.
Yes.
so you can hear all the different stuff.
We're having so much fun putting it together. I'm pulling in the whole crew, the entire fam. My brother, who's an amazing musician but not a guitar player, but a killer producer. We did samples, and he's building beats out of all the hits and slides and little like those little things.
Nice.
Yes, and oh my god, yeah, please send the K21. That would be so
Yeah,
cool.
it's great.
The
It's a great
DCs
guitar.
are, I don't know if anyone watching hasn't played them yet, but they're a completely new animal. It's
I love them.
it's mind-blowing how like the action is so low. It's electric car. Yeah, it feels like an electric. It does. Yeah, Ram's just talking.
Her invisible assistant is talking.
Yes, come wave. Give a wavy wave.
Hi, Ram.
He's got the KOA bass too.
Your hand looks good, Ram.
Wait,
So we got a question from Rob.
Rob, what up?
Lund, Daria, Lindsay.
Yes.
Any of you guys want to take this? Does KOA take 10 years to open up?
I mean, I would love to hear. Okay, we're trading. Oh my god, things are happening. This is the bass, the KOA bass. Look how dope that little guy is. Oh my god, this is a good one
bass
too.
Is good.
You know how you never quite know what you're gonna get with the grain. It's always a surprise. It's so much fun. That is so sexy. Rob, I would love to hear a professional opinion from you guys, but from my experience, that can't be true because I think I've had like this one for 2 years or this one for 2 years and this one for 1 year or something like that. And you can hear the difference already. Right. So, maybe after 10 years, it's even better, but I really like the way they sound out the gate. And then I think it just gets better from there.
Lindsay,
but you don't have to wait 10 years.
What's your experience? Because you're a big fan of the Cedar Top 714 with KOA?
No, it's Rosewood.
Oh, it is Rosewood.
Yeah, Cedar Rosewood is my favorite combo too.
Yeah,
it's the best.
It's Rosewood and Cedar on the top. But you know, I think obviously the longer you have it, 10 years. I mean, any guitar that you have that's older than 10 years, it's not just going to be a KOA thing. It's going to just sound beautiful. They start to sound more lived in, that less tight. But I think on average, after a couple of years, you're in 3-4 years, you're really going to hear a difference in that guitar. Even a year, you're going to, like Daria just said and just demonstrated, even a year just of you playing it and it's settling, you're going to hear a difference. So, I mean, if you're asking how long it's going to take to completely open up, yeah, maybe 10 years, but it starts opening up as soon as you have it.
Andy, you guys do a really good job on the road show when we had in-store road shows talking about KOA. But I've heard varied opinions. Like in my opinion, it warms up in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then gets warmer in 20 and then 30 and 40. Andy, how would you say that? How would you answer this question if someone was wanting to buy a KOA instrument?
I think all guitars do that. All acoustic guitars do that. And the firsthand experience I have with that is that when we were doing road shows, many times we would send a dozen guitars to a hotel, pick them up, put them in the car, go to the first show, tune them up for the first time, do the show second, and we do like 4 shows in a row in 4 days. And by the time you got the guitar out for the 5th show, it was like, this sounds a little bit different than it did on Monday. Yeah. And even so, and that's with very little play. That's with 10 or 15 minutes. So they all do. I think that we talk a lot about KOA getting a little bit darker as it gets older. And the 10-year thing, I don't really know. I think the more you play, the quicker it happens.
Yeah,
that's how I would answer that question. But
Craig has a great question here. How much of the warm up in 10 minutes is the strings rather than the wood? That's also true. Or the player. Like you getting warmed up and then you start, playing a little bit different. But
I'm sure Andy Powers has a very scientific answer on
on everything in the universe,
on how long it takes for it to actually warm up technically. But I agree with Andy Lund, and just from my experience of playing instruments and older instruments, all guitars open up. But I think KOA, you just notice it more because it is like a naturally, like with the KOA top, it's like
Compressed.
compressed. It sounds a
Yeah.
little bit more compressed and tight, but the more you play it. So if you're playing your guitar every day, I think you'll hear it quicker than someone that's using it as like an eye candy piece.
Eye
Yeah.
candy. Here's
It is
a
eye
good
candy.
Lindsay might know the answer to this one. Does it depend on the humidity levels of the rooms?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Is
I
this
don't
a
know if
good
that really,
time?
I'm not sure that really prohibits something from opening up, so to speak, but damp guitars definitely sound different than dry guitars.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
sound thuddier and duller.
Muddier and
More
dull.
dead. Yep.
Okay. Okay. So,
Beautiful.
Daria, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Why? So I've heard you say this many a times, like, just like you edit video, where you
Yes.
create the music and then you're trying to pile everything and edit everything and cut everything right on tempo and
Yeah.
again, I'll link after the show. I'll link the last TED Talk you did was choreographed with video, and it was spectacular. So
thank you so much.
that kind of stuff. Now, take yourself. You've said to me in the past, like, this K24CE is great for this, and this K14 is great for this.
Yes.
Why does KOA work so well for you? Why does it work for it works for you in writing, in recording, in performing?
Yeah.
Why is it? Because it's not for everybody. We get that, but why for you?
Yeah. And you know, I love all the wood combos you guys do. Like I said, I'm with Lindsay. Like I think I have one cedar top in my collection, and it's that is an incredible. The rosewood cedar thing is amazing, but there's so many incredible KOA offerings that you guys have right now, and I think that I find KOA to be like a really balanced beast. It's really reliable, even as it grows and it blooms, right? But something about, and you guys can sort of check my logic on this because it's not a scientific answer, but it feels to me like it's very balanced across the board, and then everything kind of blooms together. And so I have this very like balanced and reliable sound to play against with my voice. And because my voice is really my first instrument, and I'm always trying to catch up with my guitar playing, I find that support really valuable. And then also it seems to translate really, really well into the studio when we're recording and when we're using it against studio instruments and plugins and all of that stuff. It seems to like play really well with others, where it sits in the frequency spectrum. It doesn't steal from other people, and it doesn't get mad and try to be like, I'm taking up all the bass range or all the treble range. It's kind of this thing that works well with other instruments. Yeah. You're muted, buddy. I was like, did I silence you with my answer?
I muted myself over here. I'm in the factory, right? And all of a sudden the generator went off and I hear this like high pitch. I could tell it was about to happen. So I'm over here just chilling, muted. Okay, we've done it before. Is there one in your collection that if you had to get rid of all of them, what would be the one that you would keep? You can't say T5. I'm just kidding. You can say T5.
I mean, is the argument that the top wood doesn't like change the sound that much with this? I just love this guitar so much, and I use her all the time, and she's perfect. So that one, I feel like the answer is going to be the future one that's coming. I feel like it's going to be the GT because I'm so obsessed with that shape, and I am very excited to see how that goes. So I will project into the future that it's going to be that one. This one's amazing.
Andy Lund, I'm asking you the same question. If you had to pick one KOA guitar in the Taylor line, what would it be?
Probably a K24.
A builder's edition?
K22. It would be a really cool guitar for me, I think.
K22?
Yeah.
Which one's that?
Grand Concert.
Yeah,
K22.
Grand Concert. Yeah.
CE or just an E?
12 fret E.
Ooh, that's a pretty guitar. Okay. Okay. Lindsay, if you had to pick one Koa guitar, what would it be?
The K21, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my answer too.
Yeah.
Nice.
The K21 is we don't have one here. We've done a shootout with them. We had an older episode that we'll link and I'll put in the comments as well.
You know what I will just do like a honorable mention for the 224K Deluxe. I want to show the 200 some love. That guitar, I've done some like demos recently, and like obviously the top is solid, the back and sides are layered wood, but that guitar is really impressive. For like the price point and like for where it's just a really impressive guitar.
I wish we knew the answers to that. We don't have the answer to how many. We could probably count, but I don't want to do that right now because we have a show. But how many different Koa guitars we have in the line?
A lot.
Andy, do you know the answer?
I don't. That's an Evans Q question, Jay.
That is an Evans Q question.
Wait, are you gonna say series, or are you talking like models too, like numbers
models,
and everything?
Just guitars, like
or
Koa
series?
Yeah, like we created a playlist on YouTube. It's called Koa and More, Koa series and more, because we have the Koa series, but then it's like every other day we have another Koa guitar.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah,
there's a lot of them.
Yeah. Actually, it may not be as many as we think. I think we're throwing some extra stuff on it, right? We got babies, GS minis, the GTs, and then
you got 200 series,
200 series,
UK, 214 UK Deluxe, 240.
2 GS minis, 3 GS minis. We have GS Mini Bass, GS Mini E-Koa Plus, GS Mini E-Koa.
Yeah. And then babies.
Babies.
And then the bass,
Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's a little history lesson. Here's what we love Koa. Here's a little history lesson real quick for everybody. It has nothing to do with trivia, so don't worry about it. Or Evan's question. Bob was turned on to Koa as a tone wood by Richard Hoover. Do you know who that is? No?
Yes.
You know who that is, right, Andy? Tell him, Andy Lund, who is Richard Hoover?
Richard Hoover is he the founder of Santa Cruz?
Yeah. Okay. Santa Cruz. Okay. Richard Hoover.
Yeah.
And there is a round table that's going to come out pretty soon. And I believe it's Richard Hoover, maybe Dana Bourgeois, Bob Taylor, Chris Martin, maybe. And it's just a round table, like old school acoustic guitar builders thing. And it basically, there's a quote: "We started building with Koa in the mid 70s. Nobody knew what it was." This is Richard Hoover. It was really, really hard to sell. It took conversations with Chris Martin and Bob Taylor for them to give it a try. So it's actually Richard Hoover from Santa Cruz brought it into the flat top acoustic guitar building.
That's so cool.
Wow.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And a Hawaiian musical pioneer is credited with Hawaiian steel string guitars, and that is Joseph Kekuku, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Kekuku. Joseph Kekuku. Anyway, we started doing some Koa research recently, and pretty fun. So Koa, we like it.
Yeah.
That being said, anybody have any more questions? Herbert Hoover, what?
And I just pulled up the chat on my phone, guys. I just realized that I should have done that. So hi, Ken and Eric and Rob and Tobias and Phil and Carl and everybody in there and John. And I love you guys. It's great to see everybody. I'm scrolling through.
Well, there you go.
Hello. Yes.
Anybody have any questions for Daria? If not, we're just gonna break it down and have her play another song, and then we're gonna roll up our sleeves and finish the show. 18 Taylor guitar models with Koa.
Oh, somebody figured it out. Oh, Evan with the answers.
Yeah. Wait.
The wooden stuff. Yeah.
Evan knows.
Yep.
Evan's read every word.
He knows. I didn't know there was a bigger Taylor guitar nerd that didn't work at the factory than me, but Evan
knows everything.
We can battle for it, buddy.
It's a bummer too, because Evan lives in. It's not a bummer, but it's a bummer for logistics purposes. Evan lives in Canada, and it's hard to ship stuff to Canada, and we've got a prize sitting in the factory in the warehouse waiting for him to ship, but we have to. It's
there's like a pile of presents for Evan.
There's like a pile of Evan's stuff.
That's funny.
We'll get it to you, Evan. I promise.
Yeah.
I promise. Okay.
I feel like the essence of KOA, though, to like wrap everything up is
doesn't
it feel cool that, and I think this is a testament to Bob and Andy, of course, as well, and to all of you guys, but to know that there's something that you can buy. There's lots of things money can't buy that get better over time, and the more love you put into them, the better they get, right? Friendships and music. But knowing in a world where there's so much stuff that isn't made with love, that these guitars are made with so much love, and that when you get a KOA guitar, the more you play it, the more love it gives back to you, and the more it's kind of like take on your shape and turn into your guitar. I don't know if you guys ever had this. Like my first Taylor ever had a satin finish on the back of the neck, right?
Yeah.
And that's my favorite, obviously. And like this one on the back here, and it was a point of pride for me as I played it that it got shinier from like the oils of my hand from going up and down the neck. And I could see the difference from like the headstock and down here where I don't touch it. And just knowing that you would put all that time and all that love, it just turns into something that's yours, and is a part of you. And I think that's really cool.
I love it. You got a few questions, so we're going to ask some questions, throw them up on here while I ask you some questions, and then we'll have you play a song, and then
great. I have a world premiere.
Oh, you have a world premiere. I like this.
I have a song I haven't played for anyone yet.
Then we'll do Lindsay's question, 2 minutes of sports, Evan's cue, and wrap up the show. How's that? We got this? All right, we can do this. We're in the final stretch, ladies and gentlemen. We talk too much. Daria.
Yes.
Do you speak any other languages, and do you sing or write in that language?
Okay. I sort of kind of speak French. I love French. I studied French. J'ai étudié français à l'école. I think I wrote one song in French when I was like in high school. I don't remember it anymore. I would really like that. But I really, 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 really want to learn Spanish now because there are so many artists putting out songs in Spanish that I adore. And I have to go on Genius and look at the translations and figure out what on earth they're saying. Like I would sing you all the Rosalia songs in the world and I would just butcher it and it wouldn't mean anything. So I would love to learn Spanish. Yes.
Great question.
Yeah.
Do you hum when you figure out your chord progressions, Daria?
Yes, Rob. Like I said, my voice is my first instrument. I feel like that's I envy guitar players whose fingers just think for them. I'm not always there. And when ideas come, they usually come to me vocally. So, oh wait, this is the best version, the best way of explaining it. In School of Rock, when Jack Black is singing his solo first, it's like, you gotta let me do a solo. Like, that's me. I sing the solo first and then I figure it out. Yeah, so usually vocals come first. Every once in a while, I'll find a little noodle on my own, or more often than not, I'll make a mistake while I'm trying to do a really hard chord, and then I'll be like, "Ooh, that sounds cool." But you find a lot of cool stuff that way.
That's great.
Yeah.
Does the KOA top on the T5Z make a difference in sound versus
good question.
other wood?
What do you guys think?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think more so on the acoustic setting on the body.
Yes, exactly. That's where you hear it more. Ram says yes too. Yeah.
And I think that the harder woods like a mahogany top or a KOA top are actually sometimes a little bit easier to use with higher gain.
I was going to say, am I crazy or does it handle like plugins and amps and pedals better?
Right. I think it's not moving around as much as spruce wood.
Yeah, exactly.
Best capo choice for your T5Z.
Ooh. I only have one. I have this like upside downy Dunlop that's, can you see it? Looks like wood. It's probably not, but it looks cool. Like I like that blends in. Looks like it belongs. That's the only reason I have it. And it's reliable and it works. But yeah, that's it. It's one of these.
Jay, I pulled you. I was on mute and I was like agreeing with you guys on the hard top. I was like, that's actually true. And I'm like, oh, I'm on mute. What is happening with us tonight?
We're muting today. We're tired. Look,
it's good. The show gets better the punchier you guys are. That's my favorite part at the end of the show when you're all loopy.
24 hours ago, I was in Phoenix. It's fine.
Yeah.
And I drove back. Okay, so what I was laughing about is I love you all in the feed. I love that you guys come and hang out with us. But Tobias, I love
Tobias.
Shipping to Chicago will be easy, Jay, if I ever win a prize. Okay, Daria.
Yes, sir.
When you come up with fresh sounds, do you find it comes more from mistakes that you were not expecting to make or reinterpretations of other sounds?
Ooh, Phil.
Phil with the question bomb.
Phil with the MVP question. I love this. And I love the hat. I wonder if I could pull that off. It's a great look. So I think that it might be 50-50. One of my favorite things to do, because I listen to a lot of stuff that's not guitar based. There's a lot of electronic music that I love right now. I love giving myself the challenge of trying to interpret stuff that doesn't have guitar and translating it to guitar. So I find a lot of cool things that way. And like not even looking up the tabs, just trying to use my ear and trying to practice, trying to practice my ear training and just find things and listen and pick out stuff. So I get a lot of weird shapes that you wouldn't normally get from this is how you play a guitar by doing that. And then, yes, Ram will show me lots of amazing things he's writing and I will make lots of mistakes or I will try to do things that are a little out of reach and something will slip. And then you go, ooh, that sounds so pretty. I love when you find little like bits of dissonance and, stuff that you weren't expecting is sort of my favorite thing. I remember when I first started playing, it's like, those kinds of chords were like, oh, I love that. So there's so many little colors going on, What are you laughing at? It's funny. He's laughing at me. I love that. That's my favorite. When you have something that's a little sweet and a little dissonant and, like, ooh, there's a little like spicy note in there. That's my favorite.
All right. Last question, it seems. Wait, nope. We got two more questions. Which of your KOA tailors do you prefer to play fingerstyle and why?
Yes. Craig, great question. I think right now it's this one, the K24, mostly because, like I said, it's opened up so much. And so I'm just getting a really sweet, really balanced sound across the board with this guy. I can do that same. I usually capo that. It's lovely. It's got a really long sustain too. Just kind of go. This is still going.
Andy Powers.
Yes, Andy Powers, V class, all the way. Just goes forever. But again, not to project too far into the future, but I have a feeling that new, is it the K21, the GT KOA will probably end up being my favorite just because the action is even lower and even slinkier. And that makes finger picking so much easier. So yeah.
Such a good guitar.
Probably. Yeah.
All right, Daria.
Yes, sir.
Ken. Daria, where's the best place to find your music?
Ooh, there's lots of music coming, but right now there's lots of little snippets and bits and bobs on YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that. And I am working on an EP and then the album's coming right on the heels of that. So all that stuff's going to hit streaming services soon.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. You want to play another song, Daria, and then we'll move on?
Sure. Do you want to hear one?
We'd love to hear a world premiere. Right now, you're going to hear a world premiere.
You are. Okay. This should be fun. This is it's called Boy King. And yes, it goes like this. What made you think that you could get away with talking to everyone like we all work for you? Who appointed you Boy King? Boy King. Using the world like a trash can. Don't think I didn't see you throw it out of the window and leave a mess for your mother too. And your blind spots are big enough to fit all of Connecticut. I know it's strange to ask for a break from someone you're not even dating, but baby, I need space from your face and the things that you say until you care a little more about how it affects people who get within a 5-mile radius. It's strange. I think you'd rather be a nice person than a boy king. Boy king, reigning over nothing, reigning over nothing. Boy king, reigning over nothing, reigning over nothing, reigning over nothing. Don't it get boring, so certain of knowing that you are always right, no room for learning. Weren't you told that's how you get? Oh. I think as a trio, your id and your ego evicted their super best friend. They packed any semblance of self-awareness, left them to trash what was left. And your blind spots are big enough to fit all of Connecticut. I know. Oh man, new words. That's a new song. Okay, wait. And your poorhouse is going up in flames with only you to blame. I have to admit, I watched in disbelief as you lorded over the ashes, unleashed your dragons at me. What did I ever do to you? You're the one who abandoned me, so feel free to continue. You're right over nothing. Just don't expect to see me about your storms and your black cloud can't touch me now. I hope you use all of your money for a big enough boat for the flood that is coming. Boy king, reigning over nothing, reigning over nothing. Boy king, reigning over nothing, reigning over nothing, reigning over nothing. Boy king.
Yeah.
Nice. World premiere.
Yes, thank you. Oh, I love John Lord. Nice comment. It can be about lots of things and lots of people. It's not those cathartic songs, right? You need like a better have my money, and I was sort of wanted one of those. Yeah, it's good. It's good to get it off your chest sometimes. I think that was one of my favorite lyrics I've ever come up with. Was the I think as a trio, your id and your ego, a victor super band. He packed any semblance of self-awareness and left them to trash what was left. Yeah. Nobody in this group.
Thunderous applause.
Oh,
Thunderous applause.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that world premiere. That was fantastic.
Oh,
all right.
Thanks, Keyman. Thanks, Bilbo. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, John. Thanks, Phil. Thanks, Markion.
I know his name's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, so cool. Love it.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. It's time for Lindsay's question. Lindsay.
Yes.
You were not here last week.
No.
So Mike Venezia had to do Lindsay's question, Mike Venezia style. So now it is up to you. And I believe Andy Lund may have a song.
say. Daria, oh Daria, here's a question for today.
Awesome. My question for you, Daria, is this: what fictional character in a book, if you had the opportunity, would love to meet and spend the day with?
Oh, I love this question.
That's an awesome question.
It is
I know.
such a great question. Oh, you have one? You want to say first?
No,
Oh, you know my answer?
I don't know yours, but I know mine.
Oh, I want to know yours too. I can answer
I can't
first.
tell you. I'll tell you later.
Oh, okay.
It's your question. Her question
Okay.
for you.
Did you say in a book or in any fictional worlds at
In a
all?
book. In a book.
In a book. Okay. All right. There's so many. I love reading. I'm a big book nerd. I think it's interesting when you ask like favorite. You know how sometimes it's like the music that we listen to when we're first coming of age, like gets ingrained to ourselves in a different way and helps us like define who we are. I was a Philip Pullman, His Dark Materials kid. I don't know if you guys know that. Oh, so people know the Golden Compass. There's been a lot of not so great adaptations. It's not adaptable. Making animals talk always seems weird on screen. It works in the book, but the main character Lyra from that book is somebody that I really loved and idolized. Yes. And then if it was, I know you said book, but if we were also expanding to TV,
yeah,
I over the pandemic discovered great joy that is Doctor Who. I had never gotten into it. I thought it was thought it was gonna be. I had never watched an episode, and 2 years of a pandemic could give you time to catch up on the longest running TV show in history. And yes, if I could meet the David Tennant Doctor and also the Capaldi Doctor and go on an adventure with them, that would be amazing.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yes, there's room in the TARDIS for lots of guitars, so it'll be perfect.
Yeah.
Dr.
Jay, you
Who.
can't leave everybody hanging. Everybody wants to know.
Yeah, Jay, seriously, who is it?
You like jumped at the answers.
Yeah.
So like,
oh,
who was
mine's always been Chewbacca.
Oh.
Wait. I guess they're technically Star Wars books, right?
Yeah, but book, movie. Anyway, if I ended the question at fictional character.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just was like fictional character I want to be. I don't care about book. Yeah, you could put it in a book, but like
they made Star Wars books like after the movies came out, right? Which is a weird thing to do, but I think you're covered.
Well, or you could say coloring book. Even. Dude, Chewbacca is awesome. I've always been a Chewbacca fan. I don't know why.
I could see you guys rolling around the universe. That makes sense, man. That makes sense.
I don't even have a Chewbacca impersonation or anything like that. I just think I love it. Anyway, okay. 2 minutes.
Andy, do you guys have answers?
Yeah, who would you want to be?
Or is it just for me?
Who would I want to hang out with for the day?
Yeah.
Oh man. I don't have an answer. I didn't prepare for that. I just asked the question. I would say probably I'd want to hang out with Holden from Catcher in the Rye. He was just he just seemed like maybe I could help him make some good decisions.
He's such a jerk.
He was a jerk, but
I would not.
It goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than that.
Maybe no, you could hang out with him and maybe you could like talk some sense into him because you're so sweet. He's such a he's a bit of a boy king there.
Do that, Holden. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, it's time for 30 seconds of sports.
I'd hang out with Gandalf, by the way.
Gandalf?
Yeah. Oh yes, of course. Oh my God, what was I thinking? I skipped all of the Lord of the Rings. Did you see? Graham says Gandalf too.
2 minutes of sports. Baseball is back. The new season gives us a reason. Opening day just 2 days away. Let's call in sick and go to the park. A dog and a brew, just me and you. In 2 minutes of sports.
I wore this Colorado Rockies hat for Paul Tobias to remind him that Chris Bryant is now on the Rockies.
Oh, ouch.
He's a Taylor player, though, so it's fine.
Nice.
He left the Giants, my man. What is up? That is silly. Anyway, Lindsay, was your bracket broken? Was your bracket broken?
It was broken immediately though. I'm never good at those things.
No, I'm terrible at it. I lose to, like, first game. My bracket's broken. Anyway, how did you watch the game at all last night?
I watched the last like 10 minutes of it. So when I first saw it and I realized, oh, cool, UNC's up. It's gonna be great. It's over. It's done. And then when we got to where we were going, it was like 10, like 5, or maybe 7 minutes left, and I was like, "Whoa, Kansas is in the lead by 2. What's happening?" And then so it was a tight game. It was really interesting.
At least it
Really
was
good.
a classic.
Yes.
At least it was a classic. Daria, do you care about college basketball?
I think basketball is awesome. I don't watch it that much, and not college basketball that much. I did see literally the last 4 seconds of the game last night, though. And Ram explained to me what was happening, and so I stayed for those 4. Like I walked into the room, and I was like, "Oh, the powder blue jerseys are cuter. They'll win," but they didn't.
They didn't win.
Yeah, no, I don't. When you hit me not in football season, I'm gonna not know a lot, man. But I can say that I knew Tom Brady was coming back, and I called it, and everyone in my world was like, "No, it's over," and I was like, "I don't feel like it's over," and it's not over, and so that's my little sports.
Okay, then I'm asking you. Then I'm going to bring Tom Brady into this because that's my next question here.
Please,
do you think that was a power move? Look at that power move, just a wee bit there, right? Like,
it's very possible. Yeah.
I want to come back. He's got to go.
I thought he and BA liked each other. I didn't know about the fact that, maybe I've heard the rumors like everybody else that maybe he liked to cut out early and go play some golf, and that Tom wasn't having that. And I think, BA is an amazing guy. I love, first female coaches, amazing, diversity on the team, like seems really dedicated and really, really big heart when it comes to that stuff. And so I love that. And I think that it was genuine that he wanted to give Todd Bowles like an alley-oop and let him take on a team that had a chance to win. And that's what he said. But I also kind of felt like Tom might've been like, it's sort of me and Todd Bowles. And I forget who the other guy is. Brian, who, are kind of like, we could probably do this without him. So I don't know, maybe there was a bit of stuff. I remember he was on The Shop once. Did you guys watch The Shop? That's my favorite interview show in the world. The editing, talk about filmmaking, right? Like the editing and the style of that show is so dope. I'm like, why is every interview show not The Shop? We need to make a show that's like the music version of The Shop. That's what this would be if we were in person. That's what it would be. We just need like Gabe and the other guys shooting it and editing it. But Tom on The Shop, it was so funny. He was like, yeah, everything I say in the press is the opposite of what I mean. And he was like, if I say, oh yeah, we love that guy, we respect his game so much, I'm thinking he sucks, like he's the worst. And we're aiming for him and we're going after him. So when he says, oh, like BA is my favorite, maybe he means the opposite. I don't know.
Oh,
yeah, that's funny.
Sorry, but
James just threw up a question here. Thoughts on Tiger Woods' announcement? Did you know? That's pretty exciting. Yeah, you play the Masters, right?
Yeah. I think Tiger's good for golf. Always has been.
I think Tiger's great for golf.
I think people want to see Tiger play. People want to see him play well, even more importantly. So, I'm excited about it. I don't think he has it in him anymore. But I'm excited to watch.
Gold jacket, green jacket. Who gives it? Never mind. All right. Anyway, all right, let's go to Evan's queue real quick. Evan's question. So you guys know how this works. You guys stuck around this long. You get to throw some answers up there. What was the announcement? The announcement is that he's playing the Masters. I mean, he got in that terrible car accident, so he's been rehabbing, and before that it was his back. And so he started to catch his stride again, and then got into the terrible accident. And I agree, it's great for golf. So over to Evan's queue. You know what? Evan called me out last week because in an email, in a nice way. Evan's awesome, by the way. And he I was in like the middle of a video production. I read this email, And I may not have replied because I found out that like 40 of my emails did not reply. They were just sitting in my outbox for some reason. Regardless, tech problems. We'll fix it. Anyway, he sent me this email and he goes, I don't think I wrote that question last week. Evan, I don't think you wrote this question either, but it's still called Evan's Q. So in that case, Evan, maybe we should let you answer the question tonight. Okay, so usually the rules are Gabe O'Brien, who's not attending the show tonight, Paul Tobias, and Evan Smith cannot answer the questions. Tonight, it's fair game.
Can I answer?
Fair game. No, you can't answer the question. You might have to answer the question because Google might not be fast enough for all these folks out here.
Okay.
So Paul Tobias.
Challenge.
I am saying on the only night Gabe's not here, you get to play Paul Tobias. That's the rule. So no rules tonight. Everybody is involved. It's a short but sweet question. Here's how this works. If you win, we'll throw you your answer up into the feed first. Let me get over to YouTube because it's a little faster over here. All right. So I'm monitoring this thing right now. And the question, if you guys win, I'll throw it in the feed. And then you'll send us an email at primetime@taylorguitars.com. And you will win your prize. Here we go. Ready? Such a good one. Andy, you can go ahead and play a song for us.
He just answered 1974.
In Hawaiian, what does the word koa translate into?
If you're a nerd, you may have heard, maybe you already know. If you're not, it's okay, but it's a segment on the show. We'll have an answer, Evan's Q. We'll have an answer, Evan's Q. We'll have an answer, Evan's Q.
Expensive. That's a good one. Jim Curlin brought this question to the shade in Hawaiian.
What is it?
Hey! Yes!
Yes.
Eric!
Is that the answer?
It's warrior.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes. Tobias, you missed out. I threw that one up there for you. I thought you'd know it. I mean, you've been a tailor dealer for like 30 years, man. Right? It's a long time. Anyway, brave, warrior. So what was told to me was warrior. So we're going to go with that one. Eric, send us an email. We'll send you your prize. That is tonight's show, ladies and gentlemen. That was fantastic. It's always great having you on, Daria.
Oh, thank you for having me, guys.
Let me hide this.
Always great hanging out with you all.
Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. That was fantastic. I don't need any more T-shirts. We love you, Paul Tobias. You know that, right? We love you. Thanks for hanging out with us every single week. Daria is wonderful. Thank you so much. Carl. Next week we have an artist, a secret artist. It's going to be fun. Come hang out with us. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out.
Love you guys.
Take it away, Andy.
What was it? What was it? It was prime time. It was prime time. What the heck was it? It was prime time. Daria loves her guitars. She loves Dave Matthews too. Her music is her religion. She says play until you find you. Nerves are performance energy. Practice riding the waves. Some guitars don't belong around campfires, but Koa gets sweeter every day. Thanks for watching Primetime. Hey, good night, everybody. We'll see you next week. Thank you, Daria. Have a good week, everybody.
That was amazing.
On Primetime. Hey, before we log off, Daria, what's your favorite emoji?
Oh, you know what it is. I think it's officially called Woozy Face. I love
Woozy
that
Face.
guy. If you look at me and Jay's text, it's all just that guy.
All right. Bye, guys. We love you.
Bye,
Guitar
guys. Andy, that
nerds.
was amazing. That needs to be my ringtone.